right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Showers and some thunderstorms are rumbling across the area right now. We're tracking more rain opportunities that will be with us through Mother's Day.
Making Missouri roads a no-phone zone.
In the last decade, we've had more than 800 Missourians die from distracted driving.
Tonight, Missouri joins 48 other states making texting while driving illegal for all drivers. The big fines you could face. Our top story, shots fired at a South City gas station. Tonight, one man fights for his life as police ask for your help to find the gunman.
Police say that gunman fired those shots from a rifle. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The shooting happened Sunday night on Gravois, just south of Loughborough. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend went to that Conoco station tonight and joins us live at police headquarters with reaction from neighbors.
And Mike, the rifle-carrying shooter has been on the run from police for the past 4 nights. Let me tell you this, people in that South City neighborhood just want him off the streets. Neighbors near and far heard the loud, rapid gunfire in South St. Louis.
It was shotgun shots. It was pow, pow, pow.
I heard about 10.
The manager at this gas station didn't want to talk on camera. He tells 5 on your side shortly after 8 Sunday night, 2 regular customers first went inside the business, bought some items, and both men then walked outside to fill up their tanks. Out of the blue, bullets flew.
The gun violence is crazy, just and everywhere.
Witnesses told police the man in this surveillance photo walked up to the other guy and repeatedly shot him as the victim sat in a car. Investigators say after the shooting, the suspect they're still looking for tonight sped off in a gray 2-door Mercedes. The victim stumbled out of his car.
I heard he went around the corner.
Paramedics found the critically wounded driver lying on the ground behind the gas station. Workers, customers, and neighbors all hope these surveillance photos help police now catch the man they say is responsible.
I'm sure they will. I mean, eventually.
And I'm hoping, because we don't need those kind of guns on the streets. It's pretty clear photo, so hopefully somebody knows them and comes clean.
Police are also hoping that happens. They're asking anyone who recognizes that man to call them. Live downtown outside police headquarters, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
A muggy and rainy night in St. Charles and across the St. Louis region. That humidity, it's sticking around.
And it's fueling our chances for more scattered storms over the next few days. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with that weather first forecast.
But we're not expecting a lot of severe weather out of these showers and thunderstorms. More of what we've seen this evening. A couple of rumbles of thunder here and there and some downpours from time to time. But mostly, we've seen dry time this evening around St. Louis. It's only rained for brief periods. Lambert in that, nothing in the last hour that's been measurable there, but it's been raining off and on at Lambert. In fact, we look at the radar scan right now, and we do have some pockets where it's a little bit heavier, mainly west and northwest of St. Louis, but there is an area that's kind of pushing in now down from the south, and it's coming out of Jefferson County and pushing into St. Louis County and into South St. Louis City. That is bringing with it a bit of moderate rain at times, or at least enough where it's going to get a little more ponding on the road. So we'll have to slow it down if you're getting ready to get off work, say on an evening shift. At any rate, we have more active weather working our way over the next couple of days. But like we've seen today, it comes and goes, and there's more dry time in there than there is rain time. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but the odds of severe weather over the next couple of days looking pretty limited. We'll see in a few minutes, Ann.
Tonight, a former nurse at Vianney High School is on house arrest after admitting she sexually assaulted a student. Erin Forstel was booked today when she showed up for a bond hearing. The judge reduced her bond from $75,000 to $50,000. Forstel is on GPS monitoring. As part of her bond, she cannot go on the Vianney campus or have any communication with the victim.
Tonight, the man police say opened fire on Cherokee Street during Cinco de Mayo celebrations is in jail. Darian Benton is being charged on assault charges. Investigators say Benton admitted firing a shot into a crowd during Cinco de Mayo festivities Saturday night. 2 people were hurt. Police released surveillance pictures of Benton and a woman pointing guns. She was arrested but then released because the circuit attorney refused charges due to what she said was a lack of evidence.
New tonight, a major crackdown on distracted driving in Missouri is expected to soon take effect.
Yeah, a measure is now headed to the governor's desk to ban any driver from holding a cell phone when behind the wheel. And Brent Solomon tells us the penalties would be costly.
Mike, right now it's already illegal for drivers under 21 years old to text and drive in Missouri. State lawmakers just passed a measure to make distracted driving illegal for all drivers, no matter their age. How often have you been heading to your destination only to look over and see the driver next to you chatting or texting away?
I've driven on 64 and been cut off by a lot of texters, so and I've probably done that myself.
If we're being honest, who hasn't been tempted to pick up the phone? State lawmakers are hoping to prevent that temptation by making distracted driving illegal.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think they already do it in Illinois and a lot of states.
It's illegal where I grew up in North Carolina.
As of now, Missouri and Montana are the only states without bans on texting and driving for adult drivers. Now, Missouri's governor will decide whether or not to sign the measure into law. If you're caught texting or even holding a phone while driving,
For your first citation, a $100 fine, as well as, and then it increases if you're a repeat offender within a 2-year window.
if you're caught more than once within a 2-year period, that fine could go up to $500.
That seems pretty reasonable. You shouldn't text and drive.
Police can only pull you over for a cell phone if you're violating another traffic law. Now that many drivers appear to be all for it, comes the issue of police now enforcing it.
But we do have a concern about the enforcement of this traffic law, like many traffic laws in the state.
The St. Louis County Police Association says since last year, when county police have tried to pull over drivers for traffic infractions, more than 4,000 drivers have taken off.
It becomes very difficult to enforce and apprehend someone when we can't pursue and they're going to run. It's truly become an epidemic. It's putting the motoring public at risk.
All right, so if the governor signs this measure into law, it will begin on August 28th. But police wouldn't write tickets until 2025. That's to give drivers enough time to realize there's a new law on the books.
Less than 24 hours after Missouri lawmakers passed legislation banning transgender health care for minors, the Kansas City Council voted to make the city a safe haven. The ordinance passed 11-1 today. Mayor Quinton Lucas immediately signed it. Under the ordinance, those seeking puberty blockers, hormones, or surgery, or organizations providing it, will not be criminally prosecuted. It also stipulates the city would not assist the state prosecutors in going after those in violation of the new state law.
11-1 is pretty good in terms of a vote today, but I think that the more people actually think about this, talk to people, talk to families, I think that will change even more.
Governor Mike Parson has yet to sign the bill, but he's expected to sign the legislation and another bill that bans young athletes from competing in sports not aligned with their biological sex. The law would go into effect this summer until 2027.
Tonight, all eyes are on the southern U.S. border. Title 42 expires in less than 2 hours, and border towns are bracing for a potential flood of migrants, believing their entry into the U.S. is about to get easier. Title 42 was enacted during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it allowed authorities to turn migrants away and deny them the chance to claim asylum. Tonight, the Biden administration is trying to combat rumors spreading on social media that the end of Title 42 means the end of deportations. But Republicans are accusing the White House of creating chaos.
Joe Biden has decided he wants an open border where anybody can come across the border. This is despicable what he's doing to American citizens.
I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open. People who cross our border unlawfully and without a legal basis to remain will be promptly processed and removed.
Which comes with a more severe deportation process for those who enter the U.S. illegally. That includes a ban on re-entry for at least 5 years.
Controversy tonight over this year's Kirkwood High School yearbook. Some parents are calling some of the content inappropriate and explicit.
I mean, there's pictures of condoms and Plan B.
A pregnancy test.
Pregnancy test.
Is asking for the weirdest place that you've hooked up, meaning have sex.
We talked with parents who are both alarmed and okay with yearbook spreads discussing sex and drugs.
The issue isn't that you publish it. The issue is that these things are happening and clearly you're aware of it. What are you going to do?
Is sort of recognizing what kids are dealing with these days. That's, gender issues, racism, censorship, for example, which is what this is about, sex, relationships.
We reached out to the Kirkwood School District. School officials sent us a statement saying they do not engage in prior review. The content of KHS Media is determined by and reflects only the views of the student staff and not school officials or the school itself.
Kept in the dark.
No one reaching out, contacting me, calling me.
Tonight, allegations from former crime advocates in Kim Gardner's office.
It was not uncommon for Kim to ignore what a victim wanted to see happen with the case.
The I-Team exposes yet another problem inside the embattled St. Louis Circuit Attorney's office. A home explosion caught on camera. Tonight, how the cause remains a mystery.
It's an active weather pattern with the potential for an isolated strong storm or two over the next few days. Why that threat is so limited and how the rain might impact your plans on Mother's Day.
Dramatic new video tonight of a home explosion outside Detroit, Michigan. A neighbor's security camera captured the moment the home was blown several feet off its foundation, followed by smoke and flames. The homeowner was inside at the time and is being treated for serious burns. Authorities still trying to figure out the cause. Tonight, we focus on what's behind even more criticism of the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office ahead of Kim Gardner's resignation coming June 1st.
Advocates who are supposed to meet with crime victims are now coming forward to our I-Team with serious allegations about what happens on the inside. Our Christine Byers also talked with the mother of one murder victim and uncovers just how bad this problem is.
Johnetta Doss knows what darkness feels like.
I was suicidal. I didn't want to live anymore.
Doss's daughter Cariel was just 18 years old when she was gunned down in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood in 2020.
She was shot in the back of the head, so she didn't even know it was coming.
She was a senior at Parkway West.
She was just a joy to have and be around, and she knew what it meant to be a friend.
A childhood friend was charged with her murder.
I have no idea why a person can go from being a friend to being an enemy.
Johnetta says weeks and months began to pass with no word from St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's office.
So when you did get someone on the phone, what would happen? They said that someone would get back with me. I haven't heard from anybody.
So Doss started learning how to keep track of her daughter's case online.
And I had to watch her case like a hawk. And there were times where they were canceled the court date, and I didn't know.
That's not how it's supposed to work for crime victims and their families, according to two victim advocates who used to work for Gardner.
The Victims' Bill of Rights in Missouri really speaks to a victim's right to be notified. It guarantees them a right to have their voice heard. I don't blame them for feeling kept in the dark. I don't blame them for feeling angry. I would too.
The advocates contacted the I-Team after our reporting on the number of dwindling attorneys in Gardner's office. They did not want to be identified as they still work in the field.
As we see less and less attorneys in that office, more and more roles and responsibilities are going on support staff. I would be given a binder and say, go trial prep this person. I'm not an attorney.
That's why Jonetta's story,
no one reaching out, contacting me, calling me,
doesn't surprise them.
It was just a blatant disrespect for victims' rights. It was not uncommon for Kim to ignore the thoughts of the attorney who had handled the case from the beginning. It was not uncommon for Kim to ignore what a victim wanted to see happen with the case.
The I-Team filed a sunshine request with Gardner's office for payroll records. We found 7 people were assigned to the Victim Services Unit as of April 28th. The advocates we talked to say that's half of what it should be, leading to victims' families often being ignored.
They don't get closure or justice, and I would say that goes for both sides. Defendants would sit in jail for years without any movement on cases.
The suspect in Cariel Doss's case was in jail for 2 years before Gardner's office dismissed the case. The defense attorney proved prosecutors didn't turn over evidence.
How do you go 2 years without turning evidence and have no explanation behind as to why you didn't turn it in? It's injustice.
Gardner's expected resignation is a light from that darkness Jonetta has found.
I'm very hopeful.
For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
The Circuit Attorney's Office released a statement today in response to our story. They say victim services has always been a top priority of Kim Gardner. Under her leadership, they say she started to provide services to victims before charges were issued, provided counseling to victims of sexual abuse and domestic violence, and placed a physical office in the warrant office to make contact with victims earlier in the process.
The Schnucks Folds of Honor campaign is now underway. The annual fundraising drive kicked off today, and the money raised goes towards scholarships to families of fallen or wounded service members. The mission now includes first responders, and this is Schnucks' 6th year of sponsoring the campaign.
We've had a great amount of success due to our very generous customers. For the past 5 years, we've raised over $5 million for the Folds of Honor Foundation, which has funded about 1,000 scholarships. So yes, that success is something to be built on, something that we're very proud of.
The Folds of Honor campaign runs through May 30th. You can round up at the register or use the Scan to Give coupons available at all Schnucks stores. And Five on Your Side is a proud partner of the campaign.
The Blue Angels are in town. What a sight. It's all for St. Louis Navy Week. The bold blue and yellow fighter jets touched down at Scott Air Force Base for the first time in more than 10 years. They'll headline an air show this weekend on the base. It is all free and it's open to the public.
And hopefully we're going to get some good weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the Weather First forecast.
And what's your definition of good, Mike?
They can fly.
Well, yeah, that they'll be able to fly and people will be able to see them.
I think we're going to be okay. There's going to be some showers. We have no doubt that there's opportunities for rain going this weekend, and that could affect you too if you're trying to head over to the Missouri Botanical Garden to look at Chihuly. And it's just gorgeous, all the setup and everything. You just got to dodge the raindrops. Today, we had the rain midday around St. Louis, had a break for most of the afternoon, and this evening we've seen some showers sliding on through and across the metro area. There's a little batch that's been coming up right now out of South St. Louis County, kind of around 270, as it's made its way towards Creve Coeur, heading up towards Belnor and up to Bridgeton, up towards Ferguson and Florissant. It's kind of fizzling a little bit. So yes, there's still some raindrops out of here, but you're not getting a whole lot in terms of what's filling up the rain bucket. That's a little heavier farther north and west of St. Louis. And we saw some earlier that was a little heavier down to our south. That, of course, is what's moving over St. Louis now as everything's kind of lifting from the south to the north. So a little bit of light rain ongoing around the St. Louis area, but the emphasis there is light. We have not added to that 0.13 of an inch of liquid that we had earlier today. 80 was our high. We're at 76 degrees right now, and dew points are in the mid-60s, which means we're not dropping off tonight with a few showers. We hold in the mid-60s. Here's that area of showers right now moving across our region, basically along the Mississippi River, then stretching down into western and central portions of Tennessee. We look back to the west here, more active weather. Big storms today in parts of Kansas, also down around the Oklahoma City area. We watch these. They've been severe storms. They've produced some tornadoes south of Oklahoma City. They'll weaken by the time that energy gets here tomorrow, but that essentially is going to be the area we'll watch for some redevelopment along about midday tomorrow into tomorrow afternoon. Not going to be a lot. In fact, much of tomorrow is expected to be on the dry side. A variably cloudy sky. We'll watch for a few showers or thunderstorms to pop up tomorrow afternoon. If one or two of them happens to become strong, they don't stay that way very long. They'll rain themselves out to some degree, and we need the rain. The drought monitor came in today, and we're still abnormally dry across much of the area, and it's more of a concern as you go north and west of St. Louis, where that drought's really taken hold. Kind of a quick look here as we go through the weekend. We still on Saturday have the chance for some showers and thunderstorms in the area. Is it going to impact the air show at Scott Air Force Base Saturday, Sunday? The chances are there, but not at any one spot. We keep that chance going through Sunday evening, but then the chance of showers will decrease as we all head back to work next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures closer to average in the upper 70s to around 80. Saturday is going to be our hottest day. A few of us might even hit 90 degrees. So it's one of those umbrellas and sunscreen if you're going to be sitting outside for the air show.
Always sunscreen. All right, Scott, thank you. Frank, what's on deck?
Well, the rivalries are just beginning for City SC. And what is going on with Jason Tatum tonight? And we'll have some thoughts on the demotion of Wilson Contreras.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
Let's face it, most sports fans in the area don't know that much about the MLS. We're all learning on the fly, and it's fabulous fun. But we do know that St. Louis has always had really nice rivalries with Kansas City and Chicago. City SC plays KC next weekend. And this weekend, it's the Chicago Fire. City is expected to still be without their top scorer, Klaus, along with another key offensive player, Rasmus Alm. City has scored just 3 goals over the last 4 games, and they need other offensive options to step up.
If you take somebody's top goal scorer who's playing really well, full of confidence, it's obviously going to be more difficult to find the back of the net. But it's up to the rest of us to try and find different ways.
Rather cautious. We know we have a long summer coming up. We know those 2 valuable positions up the field. So from that point of view, we don't want to push it.
Boston at Philly. Jason Tatum could not make a shot for 3 quarters, but in the 4th, he caught fire from 3-point range. He hit 4 trays, a 16-point 4th quarter. Boston forces a Game 7 with a 95-86 victory. Former Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo has been suspended for 1 game for slashing Edmonton's Leon Draisaitl. The Vegas defenseman received a game misconduct for the slash on the leading scorer of the postseason. The Golden Knights and Oilers play Game 5 of their series tomorrow in Vegas. The series is tied at 2. Speaking of former Blues defensemen who played a little edgy, be sure to be with us Sunday night for Sports Plus at 10:30. The Hall of Famer Chris Pronger is our special guest, plus the Mizzou coach Dennis Gates, and a fascinating story of sportsmanship at Fort Zumwalt West High School. Cardinals are off tonight. They're back in action tomorrow in Boston. All things considered, it was a better series in Chicago, taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs. They're still looking up at the rest of the league, but the NL Central is helping to keep the Cardinals from completely fading from the playoff picture.
Not an ideal spot for the Cardinals. They're already in last place. They enter play on Thursday, 8 games back in the division. Dare I say, the Cardinals did find some momentum against the Cubs, and I think their opponents in the National League Central missed a prime opportunity to bury them in the standings. Over their last 10 games, not a single NL Central opponent had a better record than 500.
Finally tonight, I have found the reason why the Cardinals starting pitcher got rocked again last night. It's because of Wilson Contreras. I know he wasn't the catcher. No, it's because of all the damage he caused in those 23 games he did catch. He scarred the staff. When in doubt, blame Wilson for everything. Actually, don't. So I want you to think about this. Jordan Montgomery got smashed last night, and Wilson had nothing to do with it. In fact, when Contreras does catch, the OPS against Montgomery is actually .638. When he doesn't catch Monty, the OPS balloons to .787. So maybe it's not his fault after all. I think it's a reflection of society in general. When in doubt, blame somebody else. The pitching staff and Cardinals blame Contreras. Wilson never hung a slider. Those pitchers did. Wilson never threw a wild pitch. Those pitchers did. There's a reason the Cardinals' starting pitching ERA is ranked 13th in the National League, and it's not Wilson Contreras' fault. Is he Yadier Molina? No, nobody is. The Cardinals blew this one. If you wanted him to observe a little more from the dugout, you could have done this demotion without going so public. It was embarrassing for him. But the bottom line is this. The Cardinals are not in last place because Wilson Contreras was their catcher.
Well
and that
said.
will do it in sports.
Frank, thanks.
Insecticides. They not only scare the bugs away, the new spray that won't bug your nose. Gas prices are falling as we get closer to Memorial Day weekend. In Missouri, the statewide average has dropped 8 cents in the last week to $3.21 a gallon. Analysts warn prices will likely go up as the busy travel season gets underway.
Tomorrow's Lowe's will open its first outlet store in Missouri. It's at the old Lowe's location in Bridgeton. That's off St. Charles Rock Road. The store will offer new, used, and discontinued items along with slightly damaged appliances and patio furniture for discounted prices.
A new bug spray is out that doesn't come with that unmistakable bug spray smell. Hot Shot Ant, Roach, and Spider Killer now comes in 3 new scents: crisp linen, fresh floral, and lemon. The aerosol cans are now available in stores nationwide. It was very humid today. Now we've got the AC cranked, and I've been shivering the whole newscast. So
Yes.
chivalry isn't dead,
Yeah.
folks.
Scott
Thank
has
you.
a final check of the weather.
Yeah, it's good. Mike's coat will keep you warm there. All right, we are talking about a few little showers here and there. None of this rain is producing what we would consider downpours at this point, at least in our area, but we'll have the chance for showers continuing through the night as all of this lifts to the north. Mostly light rain, and it's off and on. Tomorrow, another chance for a scattered shower or thunderstorm, but much of the day will be dry.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great Friday.